Hello, friends. Today, I would like to talk about the following subject. When people say this is good, this is bad, we should go towards good things, we should go away from bad things. They use this good and bad words uh, very often, and they're very clear that everybody understands what is good, what is bad, and their definition of good and bad is never to be open to questioning, and they just take it like it is universal. I'm quite surprised always with this kind of assumption because when they say, generally, most people, 99% of people, when they say, uh, I'm doing this for your own good or my child's good, మంచి జరుగుతుంది, which means if you do this, good will come to you, bad will happen, good will happen. This is how they do this. So I try to understand what their good means or their bad means. Generally, their good is progress in life. Now, again, that is a loaded term. What is progress in life? Is more money, more position, more power, uh, more influence over people. This is it. Like what they say is dhanabalamu, janabal, dhanbal, uh, physical bal, physical strength, and padavi bal, padbal. Okay, but there is another kind of balamu, that is buddhi, buddhi balam. Buddhi balam means everyone has intellectual intelligence, uh, but we need to practice. We need to, what do you say, refine that intelligence, and we need to remove all the obstacles to that intelligence, and naturally that intelligence will shine on us if we keep doing that, and then it will guide us to the right path. But that is not valued as a good thing. What is valued as good thing is if you get more money, if you get more power, more position, more influence, etc. That is valued as a good thing. Therefore, and why is it so? It is so because everybody's further basic understanding is that this life is for pleasure. The goal, the purpose of this life is to be pleasurable. I mean, is to gain more pleasure and is to be joyful. Okay. Um, I don't want to be sounding to be grouping people like that, but most people, that is why I'm not using some words, but most people think that I have been joyful and happy through my life so far. I want to continue that way till my death. And that is what I want from life, which is really very innocent. And I don't think there is anything wrong in that per se. But um, it will be wrong to think about that if you have evolved from childhood to adulthood, immaturity to maturity, from being a child to a responsible adult, then and from uneducated to educated. If you think you have evolved and you should have evolved from these states to whatever I said, the educated, matured, experienced, responsible states, then it is wrong. This kind of thinking is wrong because the very definition of being responsible is, to the very least, utilize all the resources that you got to the best of their capacities, right? So when you got a body, a human body, a human mind, a human intellect, and this amount of time between birth and death, and the amount of sadhan you have, the amount of things that are always used to keep you comfortable, and also the amount of systems that humanity has developed so that all the average human being can be comfortable in life and mm, get the fruits of justice and welfare in life. While you are taking in all these things, enjoying all these things, if you are not able to utilize all of them properly, optimally, and contribute to the again to the system, then I think you're not being responsible. So just thinking that you are a responsible human being won't make you a responsible human being. Uh, Sadly, there are most people in this world who don't even think that they ought to be responsible human beings. I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking to them at all in whole my channel, or I don't have any intention to talk to them because they're very clear and they have a right to be clear, that clear. They have a right to make that choice. You see, I only talk to people who want to do something and are not able to for some reasons. I might be able, I am always willing to be of some help. But if somebody has taken a conscious decision about something and wants that thing, they're very clear about that thing, and they don't want to do what you think is uh, right or necessary. Who am I to say anything to them? So I am very conscious and particular about every human being's right to do what they want and what they don't. Okay, every human being has a right to choose to do wrong things also. That is to the extent I go. So, uh, if you want to be a thief, if you want to rob people, if you want to disturb people, well, it is a choice, definitely. And of course, the others will also exercise their choice, but it is your choice, it is your right to do it. Because in the nature, I believe, for example, if I go to try and push a wall, I will not be able to push a wall, right? Will I be? No, because it is against the nature's principles. I cannot push a wall with my hands, bare hands, right? I need a bulldozer or some kind of crowbar, etc., etc. So that is how nature has facilitated it. Okay. So what I deem is that if a human being is doing something wrong and that wrong is actually happening, which means that human being has a right to do that wrong, the choice may be wrong, but the right to make that choice is still there because it is happening. So my argument is why should it actually happen at all? If I push the wall, the wall is not being pushed. It is not moving. Therefore, I can say that since it is not meant to be moving with my pushing with my bare hands, that is the principle. Okay. Oh, that is how much nature allows me to do or not do. But here, if I do something bad and bad is actually happening, which means nature is allowing. If nature is allowing, then how can a human being be held responsible for it or be said that that person is evil? Now, that person has chosen an evil thing. The choice is evil, but that person still has the right to do it, right? So that choices will be better gradually as per to the extent that that person is getting the right kind of education. Okay, that is our responsibility to be able to provide right kind of education, environment, parenting, etc. If that person has received all of that, then we believe that every human being would want to be good, responsible, etc. So, coming back to this point, what I was trying to make today is because most people believe pleasure is the ultimate purpose and goal of life. They believe what good is and what bad is according to whether it is pleasurable or whether it is not giving you pleasure. Okay. Now, what I want to propose is that pleasure is not the goal of life, as Vivekananda said, I'm quoting roughly. Pleasure is not the goal of life, knowledge is. Knowledge is the goal of life. Now, why would pleasure be goal of life? Because most likely 99.9% of the chance that person who thinks pleasure is the goal of life thinks that the life starts with this birth, life ends with this birth, which is not so according to those who believe in reincarnation. That is exactly why reincarnation is such a vital and fundamental subject to be believed and to be convinced of before embarking on a spiritual journey through Sanatana Dharma, um, that it changes your perspective totally. If you have been enjoying the pleasure for so many lives, thousands of lives, you have been enjoying or suffering the pain for thousands of lives. So now the pain pleasure becomes a pendulum. Okay. Now you have been observing that whenever you are more knowledgeable and you convert that knowledge into wisdom and apply it, etc., etc., your pain has come down and your pleasure in the sense the not the kind of sensory pleasure that you would aim at when you don't believe reincarnation, but the kind of pleasure that comes with peace, that comes with harmony, etc. That increased. You have observed that for number of lives, and then you are convinced that actually knowledge is the one that liberates you. Knowledge is the purpose of life, and knowledge is the only thing that you can take from this life to another life, not the knowledge of details. When I say knowledge, I mean the experience. And it's not even experience that you can take to the next life. It is the zip file or a compressed form of memory, an image or two, that might summarize all the knowledge that you might have gotten in this life. And that image also would be working only subconsciously in your next life. But though you may think that by my description, it is a very diluted form of memory or goods that able to carry to the next life. But in the next life, the pull will be very, very strong. For example, me, I'm talking to you on this subject, and I think such subject is very important to talk to the world. Now, why is that so? I'm 40 years old. Is that what I learned in these 40 years? No, I don't think so. There is a great pull. I believe there is for lack of any other reason, that it is from the past lives only that I am getting. That I used to see. I think I'm just a human being like you all, but I am trying to be a conscious, mindful human being while I'm going through this journey. Therefore, I am seeing clearly that I also am offered pleasure and I also am offered knowledge through various ways, various means in this life, but I have been able to somehow prioritize knowledge over pleasure, and that is exactly how I'm in a more harmonious state in this life, and I believe, in a position that I can guide people to get to a more harmonious state in this life. This is what I believe. This is what I'm convinced of. Okay. Therefore, uh, I know that the path of knowledge is much more vital, important, key for all of us to progress in the path of welfare. And all of this leads to spiritual development because real knowledge stays only in the conscious dimensions of on dimension of a human being, and all the physical dimension we leave behind. Uh, and this conscious unit in which all of these conclusions are happening has the power to uh, muster up a physical unit that is a body, that is a human body. Um, and we can that conscious unit can use it for some time and again leave it, again use another mm, human body and leave it. How amazing it is, the design in this existence. I hope people would appreciate, observe, analyze, understand the significance and mm, what its implication is on our lives, and would be amazed at this kind of great design, and that we are part of the design and we are that conscious unit somehow right now. We may have not have been earlier, but right now we are able to conjure up uh, human bodies, and we are able to command the human brain and use the human body through that human brain, which is equipped to be able to receive signals from this conscious unit that we are. Uh, so it's tremendous uh, when you think of it, and therefore such knowledge, um, you know, erases, removes the element of fear in you. Okay, most of the disharmony and pain comes because of fear in life. So only knowledge and bhakti, which is commitment to truth. Knowledge is realizing the truth. Bhakti is commitment to the truth already realized. Therefore, only this knowledge, this devotion, this discrimination, and dispassion. Bhakti, Jnana, Viveka, Vairagya. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, if at all you have to ask anything of God, ask these four things alone. Bhakti, Jnana, Viveka, Vairagya. So I used to do that. I've been doing it from maybe at least 20 years. I never asked God anything really particular um, except this. However tough the situation got, I it's like a gentle acknowledgement that I know I know the principles are already there in place, and God, you will not be asked by me to do something exceptional for me, um, other than the principles that you have already set for equally powerful, effective on everybody. Uh, I am actually ashamed. I would feel ashamed if I asked for an exception only for me. Therefore, I would not ask any exception from God, however tough it gets. But I hope mm, he or she is watching, hearing everything that I do. Um, anyway, so the point is that if we have to get rid of the fear that is the producer of pain, disharmony, discontentment, etc., that fear can be removed only by knowledge, and therefore pleasure is not the goal. Knowledge is the goal of life. And therefore, what increases real knowledge in you? Mind you, knowledge does not mean gathering of lot of details. Okay, knowledge means the ability to recognize the relationship between any two things in this whole existence, and realizing it as a principle that will not change, that is universal, that is not bound by time, place, or person. And that kind of knowledge, if something is giving you that kind of knowledge, that should be good, and if it is something that is taking you away from that knowledge, that should be viewed as bad. And therefore, the definition of good and bad is vastly different from most people who are not on a spiritual path, from the people who are on a spiritual path. Uh, I hope this kind of clarity helps people, and I thank you for listening to me so far. Uh, all the best.